So we're going to redo the 1AR from 2012 TOC semifinals between Bob and Reagan. And we're going to try to make a couple of adjustments to the 1AR. First is to extend offense because Bob forgot to do so, and to respond to the link turn that Reagan made at the end of the 1N. And second is to extend an explicit interp in violation that the negative violated from the 1AC into the 1AR. And other than that, Bob's speech was quite good. We also think that there was an over-allocation on fill ed and an under-allocation on ground. So there's going to be a little bit less time invested on fill ed and a little bit more time invested on ground. And that way it preserves flexibility for the 2AR and additionally makes it so that the negative can't collapse to fairness over education and go for the ground arguments. I'm ready whenever you are, Kirk.
Alright. The order is going to be the AC. Our signposts were on the AC, but bottom to top. That's a little weird, but yeah. Then is interp, back to the AC on framework, and then NC. With the AC, start on the turn. The deadly force kills the perpetrator at worst impact. You good?
Yeah.
You have conceded both my impact scenarios. First is patriarchy, the ace point that causes extinction. Even if you win, that death is worst impact on utility cause the most death, which means that I access the biggest impact of these points. That patriarchy is the root cause of the violence, which means that I control to only to your impact. Second, I stop violence. Even if death is outweighs of violence in a vacuum, the aggregation of violence over 10 or 20 years means that's sufficient to outweigh. Let's go to the topic education argument. You make three responses. The first response is that I can't say topic education outweighs on the 1AR. This is silly. If you say the field education outweighs in the 1 and I can respond to that. Your second argument, you get the best of both worlds. However, it's a question about the strength of link. If you're on an NC, obviously that detracts from topic education because you have to allocate your time to the framework space. Then your next argument is that the mechanism for getting topic education is field education. Sure, we need a framework to get topic education, but doesn't mean the mechanism for getting topic education is field education. If you read an NC that's like 630 of framework, that 630 it doesn't translate to topic education. And second, it's possible not to have a framework at all. Something has to be impact that links to all different types of frameworks. Now let's extend my definition. Moral permissibility. That's not beneficial. You violate that by running an NC, which means that you violate my interpretation, and also I have a violation to that interpretation. And is Joe? On the violation, one, I mean, because you still have access to framework, you simply have to do it via topicality or theoretically justify your framework. Second is I mean, I proved util is fair in the 1AC, which means that any attempt to say I can't run a util is unfair. And three is simply a counter-interpretation. I already established my definition of what morally permissible means, which means that any response to that is a counter-interpretation. You don't access offense if you do not get an RBI, which you don't. Now let's go to field education. One out of round, philosophical education is sufficient to solve because we can read like conflict. Second, you can contextualize what my philosophical education means, which is exactly what you did for the James evidence in terms of pragmatism, which means that even if you don't run a separate framework, we're still able to get the philosophical education. You say it's so valuable. Three, topic education outweighs the ace point is that it only lasts 2 months while field education continues over and over again, which means that we don't get any new type of education. And then topic education necessitates new research. Research is basically a big component to education because the majority of education we gain is from out around when we read topic articles because in-round constraints prevent gaining of education. The B's point is more real world because philosophical education no meaning in a vacuum. Cross-apply this to his argument to why philosophical education is most portable. The C's point is that framers chose the topic because most educational. These points that framework debates get to recycled over and over again. That's why we know every relevant part and course art part. You say skills, those are all non-unique. You can get the same skills with topic education on ground. One, turn the ace points that util allows for the most ground because it doesn't exclude arguments that these points that if I don't run AFC, then you can simply choose a really, really narrow framework that concludes the ground. Second, ground loss is inevitable. All arguments are designed to screw ground. And three is link mitigation. The amount of ground I take away is really small because I only take away one argument you can use, which is the NC. However, there's plenty of host of other arguments like T theory case, or straight up the ACN. Combining all of those, this when the baseline for the number of arguments you can run is so high, and for turns time skew is AFC forces arguments onto one layer where it can weigh, and instead of you being able to collapse to whichever layer are undercover, that always your ground argument, because if you don't have time to make arguments, your ground that you might have access to does not matter. AC framework. Isn't the James evidence thinking that util is the most pragmatic? You make the argument that if you win util indices, that means it's not pragmatic. It's empirically not. People have done risk analysis for years. Even if your util preamps are true. Now let's go to your specific arguments. First, infinite consequence. Only the expected consequence matter of here. That's constructive via link and impact cards. Second argument is no aggregation. However, when we are forced to choose between 5 pence and 1 pen, we always choose the 5 pence. The force choice is key. The 5 pence doesn't outweigh 1 pen in a vacuum. However, the pen runs out ink. We need the 5 pence. Also, exactly what util does on NC. There's no acquisition distinction. The A supply of mission take the action of doing nothing. The B supply we evaluate both doing something of staying from it, which means that we're responsible for our missions.
Okay. That was good. I think that ultimately the goal is to be a little bit faster once you can maintain the efficiency and go faster. And if you'd been a little bit faster, I think you would have gotten 20 to 30 seconds more on framework, which would have made it much more of a red herring for the 2NR in terms of the time investment.
Sure. Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah. Let me Let me just take that.